Okay. Good morning, everybody. If there's anybody even there yet, I don't even know. If you're there, say hello. Give me a thumbs up. That would be great. I don't know how great the picture quality is going to be today. It seems like there are periodic internet issues. It happened yesterday too. I don't exactly know for sure why. So the picture's not horrible. It's not the best I've ever had it, but it's not horrible either. Make sure that you go to your screen and find where the quality is on a tablet. There's the 3 dots in the upper right corner, and then click on them, and then click on the highest resolution it'll let you. Hey Gerda, hey Lisa, hey Terry, hey Ann. Yeah, there's something going on in California. It's kind of clear for me, but it's not super clear, so I think it's probably good that we're not actually doing a drawing today, because the picture quality is not that great. So yeah, I don't know. Hey Lisa, let me know for the rest of you how it is. I mean, I know, like Anne said, it's blurry for us. It seems blurry for me. I have moments of clarity, but there are moments. So I don't know. These are the pictures I actually have to catch up on for the My Year 2017 Facebook group, but we're not going to work on them, at least not right now. I may wait and do them next week, because I've been asked a particular question of quite a few times. So we are going to we're going to do that, because I keep getting asked about this particular thing and ask what video I show it in, and honestly I just can't remember. I don't have any idea. So I keep getting asked about the little hi Dryad, hi Gwen. I keep getting asked about the color swatch, or as I term them, color keys that I have in a lot of my palettes. Now I do have quite a few of them that are just on the raw paper, and I haven't put them in plastic yet, which is my mistake. I should have. This particular one we need to do again because it got all smushed up. See, I don't know, Gerda. I don't know. My upload speed's actually not bad, so I don't know. And I have moments where it like is really super clear. So I don't know. It's really weird. We had the same problem yesterday when we were doing the Google Hangout. So create some new color keys, and it, like I said, it's a good thing we don't have a super clear picture, that because we don't have a super clear picture that we're not doing a drawing, because you wouldn't be able to really see what I was doing very well. Okay, so this is my Daniel Smith muted palette, and I actually need to make a new color key. These 3 palettes I've never made a color key for. In fact, 2 of them, the paints are still in the wrappers. So I'm going to just show you guys what I do and how I do it. I got my water out. I need a brush. Because this is, like I said, this is a question I get asked about a lot. How I make them, what I do, and that sort of thing. So the first thing you need is a piece of watercolor paper. So you don't want to do your swatches on paper that is not the same kind of paper that you're going to be painting on, because then you won't really get a good idea of the color. Hey, Laura. Okay, so I don't know. So some places, okay, so yeah, make sure those of you who are just joining, yeah, so here in the house, we only have 2 devices currently using the internet, the iPad and the desktop. So, and I've heard that before, Anne. It's not me. It's not me. It's AT&T, freaking AT&T, and or YouTube. You could try going out and coming back in again, which I'm actually going to try. And actually that helped a lot. So you can try that, and that might help a lot. So Don't forget to set your resolution on your viewing screen to as high as it will let you. And that should help clear up your picture. And some people around the country are going to just have a much clearer picture than others. And even if it's clear for me, it might not be for you, and there's not a lot I can do about it. Yay! Finland sees me fabulously. Yay! Yes, my internet's AT&T, Jerry, freaking AT&T. So anyway, getting back to what we're doing. So I need to make a new one for the muted palette because I got it wet and it got all schmutz up. Plus I added more colors to it and it got to be too big to really fit in the lid without folding it. And I don't really want to do that. So I have a couple of these pads of Stonehenge Aqua cold press watercolor paper. These came in an Art Snacks box not long ago, and I got one of them. The other one was gifted to me by my dear friend Cindy Utter when she sent me her artist trading brush. She sent me a package of goodies along with a brush, which I haven't shared yet, but one of them was a little pad of the Stonehenge paper, which I so appreciate because now we are going to use it to make some of these color keys. It should fit right inside the lid really well. And I already have paint on my finger. I'm going to get out a baby wipe. All right. Because there's sticky something somewhere. I'm going to clean the inside of the lid. Now, when I clean up painty things with baby wipes, whether it's a watercolor paint, acrylic paint, alcohol, ink, I don't necessarily always throw the baby wipe away. Sometimes I do, but you know, that's a beautiful color. You can cut that up and use it in collage. All right, so the first thing you want to do is we need to make a grid on our paper. And I'm going to just use the fuse tool ruler. You could sit and you could measure this out so it's perfect for you. I'll tell you a secret. I never do that. It probably shouldn't be a secret for you. So I have 7 across on the top and the bottom, and then 5 in the middle. So I need 3 rows. So the first thing we'll do is make 3 rows. I want to make the squares or rectangles on my card match the paints in the box. I recommend using a fine tip pen because you don't want the lines and words to take up so much room on your card that you don't have any room for the paint. That being said, it doesn't have to be perfect. I really should have my reading glasses. Why do we always get started with this when I don't have reading glasses on? Why is that? It's a good thing I have some right there and I'll have to get up. Haha. That's better. Yes, and it cleared up for me too a bit too, Anne. Okay, so we have to do 7 here, and 5 here. So I'm just going to eyeball it. It's generally what I do. They don't have to be perfect. They just have to give you an idea of the color. Now, it's best if you have a new palette. If you create the basic card before you unwrap anything. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to run out of room here really quick. Let's see. Some of these are going to be teeny. Going to end up with one skinny one on the end. That's okay. That's what happens when you don't measure. They are uneven. So here we have 5. This muted palette's a mixture of Daniel Smith and M. Graham. counting. Yes, I'm counting if those of you who can hear me. Yep. Okay. Hi, Mary. Hi, Patricia. Yeah, some people have a blurry picture. Some it's really clear. I don't know. It's clear coming out of the computer. My upload speed is decent. My picture is not bad. You can try going out and refreshing. I have a feeling it might be YouTube. Okay, now because I've already done a color key for this set once already, I'm going to just copy the names off of here. First, we're going to get the paint wet. When you have another question I get asked a lot when you're playing with your watercolors and you've been painting with them and they're all wet, don't put them away until they're dry. Don't close the lid. I always leave mine open just like they are here on the table, and I put them on the shelf above the table and I let them dry out completely before I shut them up and put them away. Yeah, that's another reason for me to have us just work on these color keys, because you don't need a close-up, super sharp view of what we're doing. Those of you who are watching the recording, I'm perfectly aware that we're having connection issues and that I don't know what's going on, but the picture's not super clear. You don't need to tell me that. I already know. All right, so now in each one of the squares, I'm going to write the color name, and I'm going to put an abbreviation for the manufacturer since this is a mixed palette. If it was not a mixed palette, I would just write on the back Daniel Smith or Holbein or Sennelier or whatever the brand was. So DS for Daniel Smith, MG for M. Graham. I mean, I don't get complicated with it. If I got complicated with it, I would never remember what the abbreviations stand for, to be honest. And then I would go to try to refill a pan and not remember what was in there. That's why you want to go to all this trouble, not only to know what the paint's going to look like on the paper, but when it comes time to refill one of the pans, because you need to have it marked. Yeah, I usually do, and I didn't with this one, which is why it got all messed up. And I'm going to show you, you can I'm going to show you how to make a plastic sleeve, which is a particular question that I get asked. If you have a laminating machine, you can laminate it. If you don't have a laminating machine, you can cover the front and back with clear packing tape. I do recommend that you do cover it with something and that you don't leave it raw like this one, because this is what's going to happen. It's going to get all marked up. I'll try to come up close to the camera and see if it decides to like focus. I don't know. But it's going to get all marked up and messy, and you're not going to be happy. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see that. The picture coming out of YouTube is just not very good on my end. Okay, so now now after we do that, I was going to paint. I'm ready to paint already. See, I'm going to write the color names at the top. And you'll have to probably abbreviate some of the names, like quinacridone gold. Quinacridone's a really big word. Just abbreviate it to something that you'll remember what it is when you go to refill it. Or if you're doing a tutorial, so that you can tell people what color it is. And words like quinacridone, I usually just abbreviate to Quin. Quin. And I try to write small, which is really hard for me because I usually write really big without even thinking about it. And why is it always the tube with the longest name is the one with the skinniest space? Why does that happen? This is a hot knife, and I just turned it on. It's heating up. If you want to make a little plastic like envelope to stick it in, which I do because sometimes I like to change them up. Or maybe one color gets discontinued, so I replace it with something else. I don't have to redo the whole entire little swatch card. I just need to do that one little color. It's so hard to talk to you all while I'm writing. It's like brushing your teeth and rubbing your stomach and brushing your hair all at the same time. Okay, let's see. Here's another one. I can't even pronounce it, but I call it naphtha maroon. It's like naphthol something maroon. It's a really pretty color. The name is really long. Oops. Okay, I just made a mistake there, so I'm just going to cross it out and it's all right. And anthraquinone red. I think that's how you pronounce it. That might actually be wrong. Okay, wow, holy cow. So you could do, and I don't ever do them this way, but you could do your grid on one side with all the colors. Actually do the grid on both sides. One side have all the colors, and on the back side of that same space have the color, name, and manufacturer if you got like really fancy with it. So now it's time to actually get our brush in the paint and get those swatches on the paper. There's a little bit of a watery. Hold on, let me do that again. There we go. That's better. Hey, APG Jamie. Hey, Sheila. Oh, good. So everybody, you can do something similar to what Jamie did and try that. And yeah, play with the quality of your resolution and see how good you can get. Sometimes that's all it takes to get a better picture. And I just did that and it's much. Also, FYI, in all fairness, I think the iPad might be a little close to me because it's clear with the reading glasses. I probably shouldn't say that out loud. Okay, so that one was buff. This one is French ochre. And I like to get a swatch on here that I can see like the darkest version of the color down to a lighter version of the color. So version, you just need less water. And this one is, what color is this? Raw sienna. So then I just wipe the brush off on my rag and then just pull some of that color down and then add a little more color to the top. There we go. So I can see sort of a variation in tone and know what kind of colors I'm going to get from that particular color of paint. And that is raw. Oh, I put raw sienna twice. That's actually raw umber. Oops. Color correction tape comes in handy. Oops. I told you I was having trouble talking and writing at the same time. While I'm doing my swatches, the brush is heating up and I can smell it getting hot. Yeah, it is clear with my glasses. This is quinacridone gold, which is a fabulous color. Roasted French ochre. I probably won't do all of these on camera, but I want to show you how to do at least one from start to finish, because this is probably, whoops, the #1 question I get asked on my channel is about doing these little, and it's funny that it's a question that keeps popping up. And I keep getting asked what video it was I did it in, and I honestly just don't even remember. I have no idea. To go over where the quinacridone gold is. I find that it is really good for me to have these color keys in my boxes when I go to paint. A lot of your pigments will look the same if you don't do some kind of swatch of them on paper. When you just look at them in the pan, like these two here, I can't really tell what colors those are. Well, one is purple and one is brown. So some of them all look the same in their dried form, and you really don't know. I'm going to try to lift some of this. There we go. Yep. Just so I can get a variation in tone. So we're going to lift. These two colors want to run into each other. This one's undersea green, which is a really pretty green. It's a really pretty, like, muted gray green. Okay. This one is quinacridone rust. And yes, it is easier if your little squares are a little bigger. But if you're like me and you try to squeeze the maximum number of colors you can in the smallest amount of space, then you're probably never going to have big squares in your thing. I don't think any of my palettes are not squeezed, or at least not too many of them. That's yellow ochre. This one looks orange in the pan, but it's a really pretty yellow called Indian yellow. In its darkest form, it'll look a little orange, but it's this really pretty yellow color. Mineral violet. It's one of the ones that got messed up on the other palette. This is turquoise. I have two turquoise colors in here. That probably won't surprise those of you who watch my channel and hang out with me in the Google Hangout chats. This one is ultramarine turquoise. They are slightly different colors. One is more green than the other. And again, these ones in the middle that I just finished, these are M. Graham paints, and the ones on either side are Daniel Smith. This one is burnt umber. Wow, a whole bunch of messages just came through. I'm pretty good. Yeah, so these are my working glasses. Yeah, they, yeah. You know, I can get around doing most things in life without them on, but when I'm in here, I find that I need them more often than I don't. It's all right. It's not like I haven't worn glasses my literally whole entire life, because I have, so. So the Prima watercolors, Gerda, are really nice. I do own, no, I don't think I own all the sets. I do think there's one I don't have, but I do like the ones I have. They do have finally some light fastness ratings on the colors out, I believe, on the Prima website. And mostly they are claiming to be light fast, which is fabulous. Oh, nice, Mary. Let's see. Permanent brown. And these two palettes of colors, by the way, do complement each other very well. When you're doing things in muted colors, I really like to use these colors to do landscapes and desert scapes. It's a really nice palette for that, and even some seascapes. Oh, good. A classy broad. Great. You always should swatch out your paints. Whether you do them in a book or you do a little color key here, like I like to do these little color keys, and I keep them in the lid of the box where the paint is at. I find them supremely handy. And all of my palettes all have one in them, including my travel palette. What is this one? This one's Van Dyke Brown. You will notice in this muted palette, I don't have, my favorite color is not in here, Payne's Gray. But the Van Dyke Brown kind of makes up for that, and you can mix the Van Dyke Brown with like the turquoise and get a dark, like turquoise brown color. And this one is Prussian Blue. I think this is why I did the other one, or I just left it with the bigger one, because he's trying to squeeze them all on one palette is tough. So then once I get to that last one, I can go back. These two are trying to run into each other too. I can go back and see if I need to darken any of these up here. Like maybe this one a little bit. And maybe the raw umber. Just so that I can get the darker version of the color there in the palette on the key. So I can get a visual, quick visual on what it's going to look like dark and light. Again, for some of you, it might not matter. You just might want a standard solid swatch. There's nothing wrong with that. That's fine. Okay, that's better. Let's do this brown one here. Yeah, that's better. Okay, now we can let that dry for a second. I can catch up on the comments. Yeah, so what Lisa's saying is Gerda, is that the Prima paints are a really great value for the money. This box that this muted palette is in is one of the Prima boxes. I definitely would recommend them. $25 is a really good buy, and a lot of the colors, if not almost all of them, are light fast. They do re-wet better with Oxgall. I agree with Elisa on that. And you can, again, get synthetic Oxgall from the people at Golden. They make it for their line of Quar watercolors. I did have to order it from Dick Blick. I think Dick Blick or Jerry's Artorama, one of the two. I think Dick Blick. I don't remember now. Let's see. Yes, please, if you can, thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe if you're not a subscriber. I know we're having issues with the internet connection, but I can't do a lot about that. On my end, it's fine. I think it's actually YouTube this time. I don't think it's actually me. I'm going to check mine one more time. Nope. 720 is selected. I don't know. You know, it's always something. All right. So we have our key. Now, before you do the next step, it does need to be dry. Let's see. I'm looking behind me. There we go. This is a really pretty selection of colors. again, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to have, you know, as long as you understand what's on there, that's the most important part. And before anybody asks, no, I'm not throwing this one away. This will go into my box of grab and glue stuff, which is where they always go. All right, so I'm going to take my heat gun out. And this is getting hot here, the hot knife. Okay, I'm going to put this over here, move everything a little bit. We're going to need, I have a glass cutting board that's from, I don't remember now where. I think it might be from Ross Dress for Less, but it could be, you could maybe find one at Goodwill. Maybe you have one. I would recommend a cutting board, not just a piece of picture glass, because we're going to use a hot tool on top of it. And this is a thinner glass might crack. So I wouldn't recommend that. And I wouldn't do it on plastic either, or wood, because you might set something on fire. That would be bad. This is just a plain old office supply sheet protector. Drop that in there. I'm going to push it up into the corner and use the corner to my advantage. Okay, so, oh, great. I'm glad, Patricia, that connect. It's just probably California, you know, because, you know, I'm in the heart of Silicon Valley. So why wouldn't things suck? I'm glad it's good for you guys. Hopefully the replay is good. I do like, so Smurfy 161, I do like some of your art supplies that you have that are manufactured over there. Like I'm a big fan of Indigo Blue. So I love them, and I love Jackson's art supply. And Gerda, I'm not sure what you can get in your local art shop. The Primas, yeah. Then if you can, I would definitely. My only gripe with Prima is I don't like the way they've set up their color selections, but that's because I like 2 colors in each selection, and I would really like it if they had them like separately, and you could just buy pans. But that's me, not you. That doesn't probably work for most people. And Payne's gray is my favorite color because it's not black. And it's not blue, it's not brown. It's interesting. Payne's gray is usually a dark blackish, bluish color that's more interesting than just using standard black in your paintings. It's one of my favorite colors on the planet, Payne's gray, which is weird because I'm usually a bright color kind of person. And I agree, Eve, the UK has some amazing things. Hey, Cindy. Yeah, I do some shopping and ordering from the UK. Okay, so now we're going to take our hot knife, and I have the X-Acto knife blade in my hot knife, and it's hot. And I have my metal ruler pushed up against the edge of where the card is. I can see the card. I've got it lined up with the edge of the card. And I'm going to just take my knife. This knife is hot, so it's going to melt the plastic and cut it at the same time. And I started doing this before the, what do you call that other tool where you make, it's not hot enough, where you make, what is that other tool? Oh, the fuse tool. It's not hot enough. I'm going to use the back side. Oops. I don't usually use this fuse tool ruler. I'm not actually sure I like the ruler. I don't think the ruler is my favorite thing. I'm having issues because I'm on camera. Because, you know, it's on camera. Let's try that again. So I've just made a little pocket. You, of course, could glue it. You could tape it. You could staple it. You could just take clear packing tape and put the clear packing tape on both the front and the back. I'm using the non-sharp side of the knife, hot knife. I probably should have put one of the other tips in here, then not as sharp tips. Is that melted? You just have to kind of check it to make sure it's melted. I'm having issues today. Let's try that again. One more time. Let's do it without the ruler. I think the ruler is giving me fits. I don't usually use the ruler anyways. Okay. I'm going to use again the back side of the blade, not the sharp side. If you're worried about fumes, then you should open a window, turn on a fan, wear a mask if you're sensitive. I think it's just too hot and I'm going too slow. It's cutting it without fusing it. Actually, big surprise, user error. Big surprise there, user error. Anyway, you'll get the idea. Then just cut it out. Usually if you do it right, it cuts it and seals it at the same time. And I have showed this on camera before, but anyway, that wasn't working for me that way. But here we go. So then you end up with something in a clear plastic sleeve that's not going to get wet and get ruined. I think this corner's not quite sealed. Yeah, that's better. So just kind of wiggle it around and check all your edges. And if I want to change a color and it happens that a color gets discontinued or I'm going to change the palette, this is like an envelope, so I can slide this out. Of course, it's not going to work for me because we're having issues today. Because, you know. So I can slide this out. I really can slide this out. And I can change out a color if I need to. Generally speaking, I just laminate them. I just find that's easier. I wanted to show this particular making an envelope on camera because I got asked about that. You can also take your plastic sheet protector, stick it in here, and you could tape the edges, you could staple the edges, you could crazy glue the edges. There's a lot, but you want to cover it with plastic. I am glad because I really like the idea of just because I watercolor a lot, so I like to be able to, the idea of being able to customize my palette. That's really my thing. So if I was going to use my laminating machine, I do have these small laminating pockets. If you're going to do a lot of these, or you're going to do like your own playing cards or something, this is a new box of them because I had to get more. These are little laminating pouches for a standard heat laminator. These are medium index card size, so there is 100 of them in the box. It wasn't too expensive, but you see, they fit right in there. And you're not like wasting a whole sheet of laminating just to do one card. Now I can't change the tip on that because now it's hot. Let's turn it off. But I can unplug it and turn it off. So some paints you will find re-wet way better and work way better with ox gall. in the water than not, and that's the reason I started using them. And that includes Prima, but also the Koi watercolors and Holbein, in my opinion. This is a fuse tool, which does the same kind of thing, but I think it might be a little easier to use. They both have to get hot. And this one doesn't have an on and off switch. So once you plug it in, it starts heating up, which is a little scary. At least the other one has an on and off switch. So when you have your other watercolors, let's see if this one, let me see. So this is the Sennelier. This is the L'Aquarelle. That's not how you pronounce that. I know that's wrong. This is, I think, their student grade paints. I think. I don't remember now. But they have this clear plastic color key, which is good, and that will work. But you may still want to go and make one on card. Put it on a white watercolor card, which I do think I'm going to want to do. And then where's one of the other ones? This is a Schminka pocket kit. And it comes with this card, which you can put swatches on. But the problem with that is I like something that I can just be like this and look at it in the lid. So that doesn't work for me. And for me, and the way I paint, generally speaking, even when I'm on vacation, this is plenty enough mixing space for me. Occasionally, I also need the lid, but I still like something that I can just like have it right there. So this is too much for me. But you see, you have to unwrap all the pans. So you really want to make your card before you unwrap the pan so you know which colors are where. And I would actually take this and turn it around that way. I like my dark color in the lower right corner. I don't know why, I just do. So I would make my card before I unwrap them, because these little papers have the names on them. And depending on the manufacturer, the names aren't on the pan. They're just only on the wrapper. So once you unwrap these, you have no idea. And that includes Prima, as far as I know, unless they've changed it. When they first came out, they did not have the names on the pan. And this one is, what is this one? Winsor Newton. So Winsor Newton also comes wrapped. And this one has the dark colors up here in this corner. So I would probably, before I did anything, rearrange these so that it started with white and ended with Payne's gray and black. Because that's just the way I like my palettes to look. But I would make my card first before I unwrapped the pans, because I don't remember now if Winsor Newton has it marked on the pan or not. Let's see. Let's unwrap one. And yes, of course, I save the little wrappers if I can. Because, you know, I'm a mixed media artist, and, you know, the little pans look cute on tags. Okay, Winsor Newton does have the name on the pan. FYI, so if you run out of a color and you forget what it is and you can't find your color key, it's on the pan. Bye, Rita. Okay, so I have a few of the Quar colors, Lisa. What problem are you having with them? Maybe we can help you. Yeah, so I like this 5-color swatch I got of M Grams, but like some of my other artist paints, they're pretty pricey. So I am glad that I don't have to do that too many times. I have a lot of paint, so unless they're making a color that I particularly need or want to try, it's just not happening. Because yeah, I have a lot of paint, and they're pricey. Well, all the artist paints are, for the most part. Just seeing how hot that is. It's hot, by the way. Don't do that. I burned myself. That hurts. So you don't need anything. I could show you the laminating little pouches, but let's not, because you don't really need them to do this. We're going to try this one more time. Because I want it perfect, damn it. All right. Now, I've had mixed success with the fuse tool. I don't know. That's why I usually use the other one, because I think it usually works better for me. The fuse tool does a row of melted dots. Okay, so any of your paints that you have that you're having trouble re-wetting, after they've dried in your pan, they just don't seem to want to reconstitute so that you can paint with them. They look much better out of the tube than they do after they're dried. That's the kind of paint you want to use the Oxgall liquid for. And my guess is that's one of the reasons why Golden makes their synthetic Oxgall. Oh yeah, that worked better. So then I don't want to do all sides, but you definitely could and then cut it out. I'm just going to do the two because I want to be able to take the swatch card in and out. Or I want to leave that option open. But because it's got at least 3 sides covered in, it's like in a plastic sleeve. Now it will fit in the lid. Like that. And I can easily see what all the colors are, which is what I wanted. And it won't get messed up again like the other one. So I would guess that that's why you need to get some of the Oxgall liquid and add that to your water. So this is the Sennelier one, and it has English and French on it. And you could, like I said, you could just use this. Need something white. You could just have that, and that has the colors on it. But I like to see what they're actually going to look like on paper. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is 12 colors. This will be easier than the last one, and the squares will be bigger. And I'm not going to do all these on camera, but I just wanted to show you guys because I keep getting asked about these. Okay, so because it's an even number, I'm going to go like approximately just eyeballing it to the middle and the middle. And then I know that I need 3 on each side. I have the cores in my mixed, I have a big mixed palette that has core, Daniel Smith, Van Gogh, Winsor Newton, and a few other brands all in one palette. It's a great palette. But I use the Oxgall in all the water for all my paints because instead of trying to remember which ones really need it and which ones don't, it's just easier to just use them on all of them. So I would just do it like that. On the back of it, I'm going to write the brand name because this is just one brand in one palette. And then on the other, flip it over, and then on the other side, we're going to write all the names. So this is just a 12 pan pocket palette. So it's going to have just your basic colors. Usually a warm and cool of all of your primaries. And like this one has a green, a purple, a couple of browns, and Payne's gray. Actually, a couple of greens. Let's see. And I haven't used this one yet. I do have a thing for pocket palettes, although I did purge some. So I think some might be going around in some of the round robin boxes. I did purge some watercolor stuff. I know you're all like shocked as crap now. And again, I'm just, in some of the cases where the name is really long, I'm just abbreviating it. Like that's, says ultra deep, but I mean ultramarine deep. This next one is, I can't even pronounce it, canine blue. I don't know what that says. I'm gonna just abbreviate it. The nice thing about most of your brands like Sennelier, who make a hard pan and a tubes, most of the time, the hard pan color in the pan will match some kind of refill that they have either in a pan or in the tube paint. I think it's Sennelier that their tubes match their pans. A great way to get some free samples of some of these paints to try is to go, now that we're heading into warmer weather, I know that I'm saying that knowing it's still raining here in California. A lot of your art supplies will start having demos, paint demos. And a lot of times at the demos, they'll give you a free sample. Let's see if I can not make any spelling errors this time. This one has Payne's Gray in it. I love pocket palettes with Payne's Gray. And it also has a sepia, which is a nice dark brown. So we've got that all done. And again, this is something that I would save to use in a grab and glue or on a tag or something. Put that up here. I don't know why I'm like getting no comments and then like I get like 20 of them. So Lisa, one of the things I do, you notice, especially with the homemade palettes, and generally speaking, I hope you guys are going to be able to see this, but when I do a homemade palette, I never fill the pans up all the way. I always leave a little bit of space, room for the water. When you buy these factory done pans, they're literally full to the top, which I actually don't like. You get a good value on the paint for your money, but then there's no place for the water to go. All right, so for this one, we're going to just like use the spray bottle because again, there's no place for the water to go. I do with my rag. It doesn't it sound awful and not practical? I haven't really either, but I've heard of them. But I don't understand. I know Koi has tubes that match their pans, but funny thing, they don't have tubes for all the colors in their pans, which that doesn't make sense to me. Why would you create a product line and not have a refill? Like, why would you not have a refill? I don't understand. So these are Sennelier paints. Look how bright they are. And I barely sprayed them. So that's, you know, the difference with some of your other kinds of paint and even like a student version of a good artist quality paint. They're going to just be super bright, very vibrant. Look at that carmine color. Isn't that pretty? Okay, this is dioxazine purple, which looks black in the pan. And again, this is why you want to do a swatch, because look, that is not black. Wait till I spread it out a bit. See, that is not black. That's purple. So you wouldn't know that. It looks black in the pan, which is why you want to put it on paper. And where'd that little piece of packaging go? So While the colors are similar on the clear plastic, they look different than on the paper, which is why I like to do a paper swatch. Sennelier is a really good brand of paints. I love this little pocket kit, which is why I got it. I just haven't had a chance to use it yet. And they really thought out their pocket kit so that it has a good selection of reds, purples, a nice yellow, vermilion, orange. Look at that color. What's that one I can't pronounce? So pretty. Nice dark green. Basic colors, but colors you can do a lot with, and it's got a good selection of those basic colors. You don't feel like when you're painting with this palette that you're really missing anything, because you've got the carmine, which is a pretty pink. You've got this light yellowy green. You've also got really great blues. You've got a good red. You've got a great orange, a nice lemon yellow. So you're really not feeling like you're mixing anything. I mean, missing anything. That word. Yeah, that word, Eve. I don't know. Phthalocyan. I don't know. Yeah, so my chat keeps freezing too, and then suddenly I get like 10 messages. Just FYI, you guys, it's not just you. I'm pretty sure that's YouTube, so I'm not sure what's up with that. So this is burnt sienna. Payne's gray. I have some of these little cards that I've never covered and laminated, so I need to do that. That'll be my project this afternoon when I'm off camera. There's a little too much water on there. Okay, and then the last color is the sepia, which is a nice dark, like gray brown color. It's not orange at all. So those are the colors in this palette. And now we're gonna give it a quick dry. Okay. So now we have a great color key for that box of paints. I'm going to make a little sleeve. There it is. Okay. I don't know why the chat keeps freezing. Those of you who are watching me, I have no idea why that keeps happening. That's a new one for YouTube. I feel bad because the chat, I think, is frozen again, and you guys are probably asking me questions that I'm not getting because it seems to just be freezing and then sending me like 20 messages. So I'm going to wiggle it, make sure it's sealed. Yes. I'm going to trim it just outside the melted lines. There we go again. I see it flipping up to 20 messages. They must be, Jamie. I don't know. It's really weird. I love purple. Hey, Terry. See you later, Lisa. So now we've made one for the Sennelier paints, and again, it'll fit right inside the lid. So when I'm painting with it, I can see very well what colors are where. So you really should do this for all of your watercolor paints. I really do recommend sealing them in some kind of plastic or packing tape or something, because you're working with water, so they're going to get wet. And if you don't do that, then they're going to get all messed up and you'll have to make a new one. I don't want to do all of them on camera because I have a lot to do. And but if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, don't be afraid to leave them on the video once it's done processing and recording, saving here on YouTube. I do reply to my comments every day or every other day at the outside. So I will get to it and answer your question. You can also, if you're friends with me over on Facebook, you can PM me. If you're in one of my Facebook groups, you can post in the group and then make sure you tag me in the post. If you're not in one of my groups over on Facebook, why? Why? We talk about watercolor and all kinds of stuff. So if you want to be in one of the groups, you want to support my channel by shopping in the Etsy store, you want to send me happy mail, you want to send me an email and ask me a question privately, any of that stuff, all the information for how to do all that stuff is in the video description. Always, on every single video. And next week, we will be working on catching up again with Ian's weekly art challenges, I believe. And if you're in the My Year 2017 group, I've got some fun stuff coming up, and some fun stuff we've already done, like the artist trading brushes. In fact, I've got one more brush I've got to work on today. I think that's it. So oxgall, try synthetic oxgall. If you're using the synthetic, it's not working for you, and you're not opposed to it, you might try the Winsor Newton oxgall, which is made from animals. Just FYI. I don't find much difference in the two of them, but you may. I don't have a problem with my core watercolors re-wetting or any of the others, because generally speaking, I spray them usually and then let them sit for a little bit and get really creamy. If you look at this one that we sprayed and then immediately sort of did our swatches, now you can see in the pans they're, super creamy, and you don't see puddles of water so much as puddles of pigment. So I would say put your water in there and then just let them sit for a little bit and see if that procedural thing that you need to change. I have no idea if you guys are asking me questions at the end here or not, because everything is frozen again. Chat, at least. I don't know. All right. That's it for today. Everybody go out, and the most important thing is to have a great day, make some art, have some fun, and enjoy the process, and do something nice for yourself because you deserve it. All right, guys, I will talk to you later. Bye.